minerals and mines are there in certain areas? Because I don't know. I don't think most people
I know. It's like,
I know there's a lot of gold in Northern Ontario because I mean, I've been to Timmins, I know Sudbury and whatnot.
yeah. So Sudbury is nickel. Have you heard about the Sudbury impact? Millions of years ago, a big meteor hit in Sudbury. Sudbury is so rich with minerals because of that meteor that hit. Actually, it was proven that the rock flew as far as Thunder Bay.
The rock or the meteor broke apart and you're saying it landed.
The rocks, big impact, and then everything just flew.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have gold up in Northern Ontario. We have lithium in the Greenstone area, which is Geraldton. There seems to be lithium all over the place. There's graphite, just outside of Hearst, there's a graphite project there. We have diamonds too. Quebec has got lots of gold. They've got asbestos, iron ore. Newfoundland right now is finding lots of gold and other minerals. Manitoba has a lot of gold. Saskatchewan has uranium.
I don't know if it's you giving this energy, but it gets you excited.
Yeah.
It's almost finding dinosaur bones or
It's
aliens, like UFO.
Yeah.
It's something exciting about the search and the adventure of finding something that's there, but you don't know that's there.
It's exciting where you have a bunch of geologists that say, I think we're gonna hit on this one. And then you go hit and you're like, oh, it's like, oh my God, yes. And yeah, it's crazy.
Who owns mines in Canada? Can you own mines in Canada?
Yeah,
I know.
I'm going to give you a little bit of the process. So the prospector comes out, stakes claims. I'll give you an example. So you got this book here. You've got the geophysics says, okay, there's going to be gold here, but where is it? So you're trying to find it. So now you poke a hole. It's like a needle in a haystack. So you hit it and you go, oh, wow, it's great, it's here. How far does it go this way? You got to drill. Exactly. And then you got to define it. Then how much you think we got of this? So the rock that we bring up is what tells us how much gold there is. And it has to be registered with the Ontario government. If you own where your house is, you own the surface rights, but anything underneath is not yours. There's minerals there. So that could be to anybody, whoever puts a claim on. The claim means that that piece of land, the mineral rights are under you. There's protests, and these kids were running around saying, stop the Ring of Fire. And I love the Ring of Fire, I love the story. It's a huge chromium deposit in the middle of Ontario in the north, where there's no roads, there's nothing, there's First Nation communities. So the government's been trying to put a road there, and it's huge. It's incredible. The environmentalists are coming in and saying, oh, you're gonna wreck everything. When you turn around and say we're gonna wreck everything, you have to understand that you're videotaping. Everything here comes from a mine. Most people don't know that. They just take it for granted. So you're holding a cell phone saying, I'm against mining. You wouldn't have a cell phone if it wasn't for mining.
Look at this lead pencil. There's not a single person in the world who could make this pencil. The wood comes from a tree that was cut down in the state of Washington. This black center comes from some mines in South America. The eraser, bit of rubber, probably comes from Malaya.
In the 60s and in the 80s, it always came, like in cycles, come out like, oh, gasoline's gonna end. Like it's gonna run out, or it's not renewable, like it's gonna end. And then magically, that's how they would put it, they would find new pockets of oil. But not getting anywhere near to being run out of oil. The thing is that there's oil everywhere, but it's just a little more expensive.
It's harder to get, yeah.
In Canada, there's a ton of oil, but it's a lot more expensive to get, which means the economics doesn't make sense. But when the oil prices hit a certain point, then it will make sense for people to go prospect and find and extract that oil in Canada, which will be a little more expensive.
Folks, I'm going down to St. James Infirmary.
So our government has gone and put in all this money for batteries. Where are you going to get the feed? Because we don't have any lithium mines in Ontario. We have juniors that found some lithium. They're not even close to being permitted. So it's going to take 7 to 10 years. What do? Let's protest and stall it even more so that we don't have any lithium mines in Ontario, and we're going to have to import it from other countries. When you open your eyes and you see how we should support Canadian mining, it's so important. And again, the juniors.
Juniors, again, are the people that come in and
explore.
Explore?
They just explore. And when they find it, what happens is they call it a developer. So a mining company like Newmont or Barrick or one of those bigger companies, they'll buy out these juniors and buy their project and then turn it into a mine. And that's what every junior wants, to find something and then poof, and then sell it off, and then you've made your money. We can't even explore. The big mines that are out there are not exploring. It's the juniors that are, and then they option it off. So the big mining company says, okay, we'll mine it, you guys go find it. Well, if you can't find it, we're gonna be in big trouble, because it takes 7 to 10 years to get it into a mine.
Even if we realize and we're like, let's get rid of all the regulations, let's get it going because we need it, it's gonna take, like you said, there's gonna be a gap of years until production starts going.
And that's where all the permitting, what the mine companies go through. So when you say you found a mine, you have to put a closure plan in place. In that closure plan, you have to say it's going to cost $200 million. You have to take that $200 million, you got to put it in a bank, so that if you go bankrupt or anything, that money's there to close it up. People don't know that, and they go, yeah, but look at the messes they left. But we fixed that. We fixed that problem. Anybody that works in geology, they love to be outdoors. We don't want to pollute the water system. We know how important the water is. We know how important the land is. The animals, you don't want to hurt an animal. I remember one time we had a problem with bears, really bad. And the geologist comes up to me and he said, Barb, don't go. I said, what's wrong? He said, the bears here are smart. What do you mean they're smart? He said, I watch it open the door, steal the driller's lunch, and then take it out and then close the door. I said, are you sure it wasn't you? He goes, no, it wasn't. We would be working during hunting season and we have the signs put up and you couldn't see any moose anywhere else. Where were they? By the drill.
They knew that was a no hunting area.
They knew. And then we had a pet fox at one of our camps. We were there for 2 years. The fox would come over and the guys would all feed it, and then it brought its babies, and the babies were playing with a guy brought his dogs. He had 2 puppies and they were all playing together. It was crazy. That's how close nature is. You see moose, you see all this stuff.
Decisions and tasks have you done in the mining world?
Well, I owned my own drilling company.
Right. What does that entail?
I'm a janitor, right. I'm a HR, psychologist, doctor, you name it. Owning a drilling company is probably one of the hardest things that you could ever do. It's very tough. It's a very hard industry. And the only way that you're going to find a mine is if you drill. Have you ever watched Armageddon? That was my crew. They're great. They work so hard. You have underground drillers and you have surface drillers. And the surface drillers have to endure freezing weather conditions, wet, because you have to drill with water all the time. It's not an easy job. They can get cranky. Miners, you have security, a lot of security. There's a camp. So you have the cleaners, you have the cooks, maintenance, IT, you have trainers, health and safety, HR. A medium-sized mine would be about 500 people.
A company with 500 people is not a small company.
No, it's tough. It's a lot of work. It's not easy. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's a dangerous job. It's not for everybody.
Some people need a little danger, a little
excitement. Well, it's
challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Like I used to say that with diamond drilling. I said, diamond drilling is not for everybody. But if you love it, you're going to love it. I've worked in Dominican Republic, I've consulted in Africa, in Sweden.
I have a big appreciation with people like in the trades and really literally keeping the lights on.
I know.
We don't need to just flip it on, it comes on.
And if you know directly and indirectly how much mining impacts our revenues in Ontario and in Canada, it's incredible. And if you see some of the stuff that I've done, if I was to die tomorrow, I mean, I've had an amazing life. I've seen so much stuff. I made differences in people's lives. It's actually so much more than what people give it credit for. You know, and I'm passionate about it. I love when I talk about it. Everybody says, oh, you just glow when you talk about it. I'm like, yeah, I do. But when you love something that you do, then it's easy to be passionate. And work isn't work. It's what you love to do.
If you're sitting here now today and you could talk to the young women who are out there and they're trying to make up their minds, what do you do in life? What advice do you give them?
Well, first of all, you never know where you're going to end up, and usually what you plan is not what will happen. So my advice is to do a job or take a career that you're going to love to do, and I love mining.